Hey everybody, today we are going to talk about semicolons, colons, and dashes, and being that I am just now recording the video, I'm just going to let you know that it's very possible that this video gets split in two, just because I'd like to keep it a little bit shorter, and there's a lot of complex information to talk about when we're talking about semicolons, colons, and dashes. So in this lesson, you scholars are going to be able to use semicolons, colons, and dashes correctly. You're going to take notes on this video, you're going to do a little practice, and you're going to take a mastery check. And as we've been talking about with grammar in general, grammar is just an important life skill that you need to be successful in the professional world. So let's start with semicolons. Semicolon, okay, and that's this little period with a comma below it. That's what a semicolon is, okay? It can be used like a period in order to join two independent clauses when they both have similar meaning to them, okay? So you can use it like a period when you have two sentences and those sentences are related to the same thing. Unlike periods, semicolons do not come to a complete stop. They're more of a stop pause, right? So you have a period, which is a full stop. You have a semicolon, which is sort of a very quick pause, and you have a comma, which is a little bit more of an extended pause, right? These are necessary when the two sentences have to be next to one another in order to keep the correct meaning, right? Like if you were to separate the two sentences with a different sentence and they lose their meaning, then you would not use a semicolon. A semicolon can join two clauses with or without transitional words, like however, otherwise, therefore, subsequent, right? Like, you know, lots of different transitions. So you can have example like, I like all donuts, however, I don't like jelly donuts. Notice how these two sentences are connected. They're both about donuts, okay? And so I can put the semicolon between those two sentences in order to sort of connect them and have a connected meaning. You did your best. Third place is still a great accomplishment. Okay. Again, you have two connecting ideas. So rather than using a period, I can use a semicolon. I could use a period here and that would be fine, but I could use a semicolon here because these two sentences actually have a similar meaning to one another. Note, you do not capitalize the first word that follows a semicolon. So unlike periods where every sentence starts with a capital letter, if you use a semicolon, the first word in that second sentence does not get capitalized. Semicolon rule number 2 is that semicolons can be used like a comma when you have a list and inside that list there are multiple commas, right? Like you don't want a sentence that's just comma, 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 comma. So if you have a list that has multiple commas already in the list, you would use a semicolon instead of a colon to separate those items. Let's take a look. I sent notes to Mr. Tatro, my English teacher, Miss McSwine, my math teacher, and Mr. Romeo, my history teacher. Now we are using phrases, my English teacher, my math teacher, my history teacher, to give detail to who each of these people are, and we are separating those people from who they are with that comma. But we need to separate that list as well. And so because we already have commas with these within this list, notice that we have semicolons where usually we would have a comma. Let's look at another example. The toy rocket that I bought has spare tires, which are brand new, a siren, which has just been installed, and a great engine, which has been newly tuned up. Okay, so you have, again, non-essential clauses to go along with this list, and because you're using commas to separate those non-essential clauses, you have so many commas that you don't want to use the comma to separate the list. So again, in this case, we are separating the listed items: a spare tire that's brand new, a siren that's been installed, and a great engine, which has a newly tuned up. You do this again, a good example is with dates. I am going to concerts on Tuesday, July 12th, Friday, July 15th, and Thursday, July 28th, right? And so each of my dates are being separated with commas because they have to be. And because I already have those commas, I'm using semicolons to separate the items in the list. Okay? And actually, that was already a lot. So we're going to talk about colons and dashes in a separate video.